let's talk about being in a funk because what's going on? And see, these are the questions that happen, that come up when you're in a funk. You wonder, like, what's wrong with me? Why is this happening? Aren't I happy? Aren't I enjoying life? And why are these bouts of sadness just coming to me? That is the most frustrating part about being in a funk. Let's just talk about it. Hi, I'm Sydney Nicole Rogers. This channel is about healing heart and home. Together, we will heal our hearts to build our home, but first, we need to get out of that funk.
My word is bond, we don't spit no lies.
Okay, so what is a funk? I describe a funk as being in a state of sadness, having the blues, as they say. And for me, this is not depression. And I am not going to speak on depression because I am not, what is it? I'm not clinically diagnosed. An expert. I'm not a specialist in that. I'm not a therapist or any type of health professional. So I'm not going to speak on being in a depression. We're talking about a funk, which to me is temporary. Sometimes my funks last only for 24 hours. Sometimes it lasts 48 hours. Sometimes it's a week and then I bounce back. So I got in a funk maybe a few days ago, 4 or 5 days ago, and it only lasted for 24 hours. And that's when I had the idea to make this video. Then the funk left and I honestly did not have the inspiration again to make this video because I'm like, oh, I bounced back, I'm happy, and I'm no longer in that emotional state anymore. Then here comes yesterday. Listen, I don't know if it was because it was day 1 of my cycle, and I told my cousin, I said, I feel like a sad turtle. I was just walking around here, just sad and sulking and moving so slowly, and obviously because I had pain and everything because of my cycle, but this just bout of sadness came on to me and I honestly need to discover why. So let's go into the different causes of being in a funk and let's try to figure this out together. Okay, so I have my little notes. See, y'all know this notebook by now. I wrote down a few causes that might lead to being in a funk, and they include life events, traumatic events, breakups, job loss, job gain, especially if you are an independent worker, an entrepreneur, and you're picking up a bunch of different businesses. That can put you in a funk even though you are getting higher because you're doing the thing that you want to do, but there's so much pressure. You are the CEO, you are the creator, you are your own assistant, all of these things, and that pressure can put you in the funk. I also put pressure down in my notes, personal pressures that we put on ourselves, pressures that other people put on us. How rude of other people. And then also seasonal funks. We are about to enter fall soon. Fall and winter. If you have seasonal, we're not gonna say depression, but seasonal funk, start doing the work now. Rewatch this video when that time comes. Save it, do whatever you need to do because it is healthy to start in advance, especially when you know this happens to you year after year. Hormonal funks, like I said, my cycle just started, so maybe that's why I got back into my funk. I'm not sure. Because hormonal changes are very drastic and they can be very extreme for a lot of people. And it never was like that for me until a few years ago, and then it just automatically happened. And I despise that for myself because it's like, no, I just want to feel normal. I just want to feel like everything is intact. And even when I take, supplements that help you during that time of the month, it's almost as if those mess me up even more. So I just do the all natural route. And with hormonal funks, it's not always about your period. I know some people have to take extra pills like estrogen pills if they've had a hysterectomy and et cetera. So it could be medical as well. And all of that can contribute to being in a funk. Anxiety can put us into a funk, just spiraling in our own minds. And then also a culmination of most of these things I just listed can all contribute to us being in a funk. Okay, so now that we have explored some of the whys, I I know that I can personally identify with the anxiety for some reason, because I should not be anxious. I'm not called to be anxious, so why do I feel this way? And I feel this way because of the pressures that I've put on myself, and also hormonal. I think those are my top 3 reasons why I'm feeling like I'm in a funk right now. And we can, dive in a little bit more with that. I don't mind sharing the pressures that I put on myself. Like I've said before, I have huge goals. I have amazing big goals. And I know full and very well that I am going to achieve each and every one of them. Stay tuned because it's amazing. I put pressures on myself because I know I'm great, I know I'm capable, and I know that everything I touch expands. Everything that I put my hands on breathes life and has good fruit coming from it. Because of that, I put pressures on myself because I have these humongous goals and I know that they're achievable. I've seen the vision. I've seen me at the finish line basking in all of this. And so with that, I'm like, okay, well then I need to get on it. I need to make sure that these goals are achieved around this time. Everything is in God's timing, and that's what I need to do. Give up control so that I can allow God to do his thing and not burn myself out in the process. Because like I said before, sometimes new job ventures, especially if you're an entrepreneur like me, that can cause a funk because you're in a constant state of creating and being everything. And then also you have your personal life as well. So then you have to be everything in your personal life. And so then you're just in a constant state of giving all of yourself. And if you're like me, you give all of yourself, but you don't verbalize when you need help. And I've worked on that. I've worked on that for over a year now, but there's still times like this where there's still some type of disconnect where my brain knows I need to say something, but my mouth does not speak it. So then that causes anxiety, because I don't have anxiety over my projects. I don't have anxiety over my career because I already know that those things are blessed and anointed and those things are going to come to pass. Again, in God's timing. I don't have fears or anxiety about that. I get anxious when I know that I need help, but for whatever reason, I don't open my mouth. So then I get into a funk because I get into a mode of sadness. And when I'm getting into that sadness, it's not because I'm depressed. It's not because I really am sad. It's mainly because I get disappointed in myself. I get disappointed because I'm like, Sydney, you've gone through this. You know that you're not supposed to do that. Haven't we evolved? So how do we get out of that? If you're like me, you need to open your mouth more. Open your mouth. Duh. Easy, simple. Open your mouth. Like, obviously, just do the opposite of what got you in the funk to begin with. So, identify what the funk is, the cause, the root of that, and then learn what you need to do to get out of it. If it's something as simple as doing the opposite of what got you in, do the opposite. I need to open up my mouth and ask for help more. That's number 1. Let me sip and we'll get into the other solutions. This water good. That sip turned into a chug. Okay. Got me crying on the camera. Something else other than just doing the opposite is to rest. Now, I take full advantage of my rests. I did not wake up today until well past 2:30 p.m. I rested. I mean, obviously, I did not go to bed until like 3-4 o'clock in the morning. Oh yeah, it definitely was like past 4:30 in the morning. So it makes sense why I slept so long, but also because I was nurturing my emotions and I knew that I needed to rest a little bit longer. So rest when you need to, but also know when to get out of that bed. Because if you stay in that bed long enough, that funk might turn into a depression and we do not need that. So still get up out of that bed. Know your limitations on your rest, okay? Another tip is to lean into the comfort. Obviously, I'm wearing my PJs. I know you peep the S and R on it, and it's very comfortable. I can breathe, I can bloat. I am not restricted at all. Yesterday, I was walking around covered in a blanket. That's not even my thing to have a comfort blanket, but it brought me comfort and like that cozy feeling. I'm also a firm believer of eating a comfort meal. However, this goes into the next solution is to stay healthy. Eat that comfort meal. And normally comfort meals are, very fattening, very fatty, filled with sugar and carbs and cheese. Eat your comfort meal, but then make sure you're staying healthy because we don't want that comfort meal to go into an unhealthy cycle of binge eating, and then you're staying in your bed, you're binge eating, and that is a recipe for disaster. Sometimes when I'm in my funks, I don't want to leave the apartment. I don't want to leave my apartment anyways, okay? Let's just say that I'm a homebody, but especially when I'm in a funk because I just want to be in my comfort zone, which is my apartment. But it is good to, if you're not being active, going to the gym or taking a lap, you need to make sure that you're at least feeding your body good. Also, environmental calm, which means to make sure that what you're looking at, your scenery, is a place of peace and calm for you. For some people, again, that's going outside, going to a park and listening to the birds chirp and watching the lake and the grass. For me, that's inside the apartment where there are no bugs, but I make sure that the place around me is clean. It looks good. Everything is put back together and in its place, because if you're surrounding yourself with clutter, with clothes thrown about, and you're binge eating, and you're in the bed, that is just a recipe for disaster. I just picture a dark room and you're just sinking and sinking and sinking in it. So make sure that everything is bright, white, put in its place, and hopefully that will boost your mood and inspire you to get back into the swing of things. The next one is journaling, getting your feelings out. Now for me, when I'm in a funk, I don't talk about it. I don't tell people. I don't call my friends and confide in them like, hey, I'm in a funk. If someone asks, then I'll be real with them and tell them. But it's not in my nature just to reach out to people when I'm in those mindsets and those modes. So I journal it. You can also journal with audio message. You can also journal with video as well. Just take your phone and document what you are feeling. If writing is too much for you, there are other ways to journal your thoughts. And then lastly, look good. This was my wash day today, so already I'm feeling a little bit better because my hair is freshly cleansed. I deep conditioned it overnight, so that makes me feel good. Like I'm actually putting a lot of care into how I look, because for me, when I look good, I feel good as well. I cleaned up my eyebrows. I'm feeling put together, and normally my nails are done, but I'm letting them just breathe a little bit. So if I'm in a funk, I typically will do my nails, and that just immediately puts me into this mode and I'm ready to go. But pull yourself together, take a shower, smell good, put on a nice fragrance, some oils, some body butter, some coconut oil, make your skin glisten and shine. Put on that nice robe, those beautiful feathered pajamas that are personalized, and just feel good about yourself. Even if you put on a cute outfit, a cute dress, and walk down the street, you could go to a store, just walk in the store, window shop, leave, go back home. At least that gives you a little bit of an entryway back into, not back into society, but back into that normal state, making yourself feel good again. I'm happy that I started the process of getting out of this funk. I'm starting to feel good because I look good. I'm comfortable and cozy, and I now have identified my 3 areas to work on, and I am excited to report back to you in the next video that I am out of my funk. Thank you so much for watching. You got this. Much love. SNR.